I should have thought about coming over here to her community post before. I don't usually mess with Mystery Maverick, but I just want to put this out here because I believe this. I don't believe that Sully's telling a lie on this. I don't believe it at all. I'm friends with Danelle and Mama Darley. I can say the lie he told them was that he was a licensed PI. Was able to get to Darley because, in my opinion, after working with Rich for a year, he enjoys listening to women who are victims in a nefarious way. I believe he has an unhealthy obsession with Darley. I have the credentials, and my goal was to gain my license via the DPS, which he ensured that I could do after many hours of investigation under him. And that's the way that it works. I looked it up because she came out and said she was a private investigator. So I did the same thing that I did to Rich. Looked it up. One way you can get credentials by working under a licensed PI. He told me, yeah, she's telling the truth here. I think that they, RJP and BSJ, are the same person who both enjoy and get off on female victims. Well, solely females shouldn't be running out here going, I'll publicly embarrass you, blah, blah, blah. No, you're being a bitch, and that's what you get. Finally, how serial killers have three names. Actually, that's BryanSt.John. That's my last name, St. John. I mean, Brian's son is a convicted child killer. Well, Darlene Lynn Routier is a convicted child killer. Brittany Holbrook is a convicted killer. Come on, man. Really? He did that when he was of age. I mean, really. This is why you get messed with. This has nothing to do with me. He was grown. Okay. How old are you, Jada? They're saying that since your brother is a convicted child killer, that you might have some of that in your blood. What do you think? Because they're dumb. They're dumb. That's dumb. That's a dumb statement, Sully. That's stupid. BSJ got close to Darley early on until the family cut him off due to creepy behavior. And ever since he has punished them for cutting, oh man, my channel by constantly slandering. There's never no slander and harassing them. No, I left support, and there was a lot of people that saw it. I left support because Mama Darley lied. It wasn't because Darley. They didn't cut me off of fucking support. Are you kidding me? They wouldn't leave me alone when I left, Sully. And I'm so glad that some of the longtime non-supporters that saw when I did that, when I posted in Free Darley that I was running, and I was running Free Darley, and I just when Mama Darley lied to me, I got to thinking and thinking, and I stayed in for a couple more weeks, and then my post was, "Look, I just can't support this anymore. There's too much fabrication going on. You guys, I wish you get what you want." And here's the group that goes to Dave Moff, and I left, and that was it. That was it. So this that you're getting right here is a lie. That's a lie. The family did the same to Rich that they did to Brian years ago. They didn't do anything to me years ago. They didn't cause me to leave support. They didn't push me away. They didn't do that. That's a lie. If you believe that, you're stupid. I left support on my own. I grew a brain and left. And people saw me do it. People saw it. And then they came out and said, well, he was writing her love letters. He was writing her love letters, and that's why, and then she rejected him, and that's why he left support. But like I said, I've had Rich ask her, I've had Darren Gross ask her, and I've had Richard Wright ask her, and she said, no, I never wrote any letters like that. Have them show you some of this creepiness. The verbiage which Rich uses towards women is disgusting, and after working with him, I had realized I had no clue. He had no clue what the fuck he was doing. I went to his home physically, which in hindsight is kind of scary, to get a copy of his license and his signature. When I found out he was not a PI, I notified the families while, while he went to YouTube to spread more lies to cover up the original lie. I am the one who had to tell several families that this man lied to them, including Danelle. Do you know how hard that was? However, due to honesty and my expertise, I have remained close to the families as a family advocate or investigative journalist will, until I can redo my hours under an actual licensed PI. That's the truth. That's what happened. Sully's not lying here. I mean, she's got some of the wrong information about how I left support. I mean, we can laugh at that later. The non-supporters will, because they all saw me leave support. They didn't see me get pushed away. They saw me leave, and then they saw them come after me for leaving. That's exactly what happened. You can ask anybody that was around that where that happened. You might even be able to find the post over in Free Darley if you just put my name in. That was my group. So no, there was no creepiness. And do you think solely that you could just run around and call people creepy and dangerous and not be called a cunt for that? I'd be a cunt. But there's way much more than this. I'm telling you, there's much, much more than this. I'm telling you.